shouldn't have ruined it for you. Alright, Harry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Season Ticket Holders, filming for the first time as well for those of you who can join in. And I have another very special guest with me today, Tom Hayfield. Tom, thanks for setting all this up too before we get into it. Very beautiful setup here at your home. Very nice.
Thanks for having us.
Now, mate, we love our UFC. You're a cameraman. I'll let you tell what everyone later into what you actually do. But we watched the UFC just recently together. We'll get deeper into that in Sydney in a minute. But firstly, I just want you to introduce to the audience who you are, what got you into combat sports and MMA, and why you love the UFC.
My name's Tom Hayfield. I started training MMA when I was like 16, and I was just a massive fan of the UFC, and it got me into the sport, and pretty much been a fan ever since I was, probably 15, 16, and I remember watching the UFC at my brother's house growing up on 1HD and Fuel TV, and back in the day, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture,
the
and
Iceman.
Just fell in love and just started training a bit and just kind of dabbled my whole life and just enjoy it, and just a massive fan. It's good.
Awesome. I know you've been modest too. You're a bit of a Muay Thai. I'm not gonna. You haven't had any fights. I always get into it, but you have been over to camps and you train pretty regularly and that type of thing as well.
Yes, I've been to Thailand a couple of times, and I'm going again in April, and just enjoy training, enjoy the feeling you get, enjoying learning the skill, and it's just good fun, and just goes hand in hand with watching the UFC, and you understand it a little bit better and what's going on, and I just love it. It's good fun. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I still remember my first UFC card. My mate Trent, if you're out there, thank you, trying to say, come to the pub, you've got to watch UFC, and I always thought, I don't know if it's a sport for me.
Yeah.
And then I watched UFC 126, which was Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort, that famous front kick to the face, mate, and that was my first ever card. And to this day, favourite fighter is still Anderson Silva, and I think I watched every UFC at uni. I went back and watched the entire catalogue of UFC from UFC 1.
Wow.
Every fight night, every Ultimate Fighter. I had uni, so I had a lot of time on my hands.
That's dedication.
A lot of late nights,
That's
mate.
impressive.
And I think I've still watched just about all of them to this day. But
how good.
That got me into it, mate. And then obviously we've talked about it a bit, but I've just started training myself last 18 months at SBG at Leichhardt. Bit of striking, jiu-jitsu, started rolling, two-stripe white belt, mate.
Good on you. How
slowly
good.
want to get that blue one day. And then, I love my striking, bit of sparring as well, mate. But, love the UFC, as we both know. We talk about it all the time. So.
Yeah, it's good. We have good chats. We work together, and you get in the car, and it's just like, let's just chat UFC the whole car ride. It's like there's not a gap in the conversation. It's so good.
You have to shut us up.
It's all time. Then we get to the job, and we're like, I've actually got to go and work. Yeah.
I love it. And we've actually got to do some UFC jobs together, which is awesome. Were you with me for any of the Volkanovski stuff?
No, I didn't. I missed out on that, but we went to on the day, which was
we did.
all time.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's get straight into that, man, because obviously we've got UFC 313. That's what we're here to preview today.
Yes.
But you and I did attend UFC 312, Fox Sports News together. Got to cover that event. Got some pretty decent seats as well. Now, we got to see Alex Pereira up close,
Yes.
and that was quite an experience. He was literally a few metres away from us, doing his fan photos, videos. Happy Sharma to you.
Yes, he charmed everybody. He charmed like 4,000 people.
There was literally a line about 400 metres long at Kudos Bank Arena at Homebush.
People were just waiting to get charmed in a photo.
At 8 a.m. in the morning. That's how you want to start your day, with a Sharma.
It was all time.
We got to interview some of them. Everyone was frothing, man. I don't think he smiled once.
Nah, he's just like a stone cold killer. How you look at him and you're just like, he freaks you out just looking at him, like, let alone trying to fight him. It's crazy.
100%. And we got to get little photos. While other people were taking photos, we got to stand a few metres away, and you and I both got our little
jumped the line a bit.
Little fanboy photos.
Yeah, we flashed the Fox Sports badge and pushed in.
Security guard tried to actually kick me out, and then I said I'm with him. So I got to stay nice and close, and we both posted those photos. You can get them on our socials.
It was good, yeah.
No, I absolutely love him, man. He's just become just about the biggest superstar in the UFC in the last 3, 4 or so years. Obviously, only really had that one loss against Adesanya. And, man, as you can tell, I don't think I understood. Obviously, you can see here now, Sharma, and there was about 1 million of these out there at the event the other day.
He's a massive superstar now, like, worldwide. Wherever he goes, people are just losing it. Yeah, it's pretty
awesome.
Wild. Yeah.
And he literally spent 2 weeks. I reckon, at the very least, he spent 2 weekends in Sydney doing all types of things. I know he did a seminar because they came and dropped some flyers off at our gym where you could pay I think it was like $200 to come and watch and train with him and his trainer. I think he did like some sort of Brazilian dance class that you could get some tickets at Alexandria.
That two-step dance that he does. Like, it doesn't look that hard.
$1,000 do it with Pereira himself.
Yeah, how good.
What else did he? I know he posted lots of socials down on the harbour. But he was here for 2 weeks, and the thing I was going to ask you was, did he maybe spend too much time in Sydney? Because it looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He was here for a long time, and of course he has this fight camp coming up. He's obviously fighting this weekend, and this was only, 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Well, he kind of came out to support Sean Strickland, I think, and was in his corner. But yeah, he was here for a while, and I guess he's always training. But that show against the fight coming up now, I'm not sure, but he's just such a freak. I can't really see him losing. It's just,
Well, I know the odds. Well, let's just get into the fight itself. I mean, it was awesome to see him. But UFC 313, obviously in Las Vegas this weekend. Magomed Ankalaev.
It's a tricky name to say, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And another Dagestani. So we sort of, one shape sort of fits all with them. We know what to expect.
Yes. Is he going to wrestle him? Is he? Yeah.
And that's the $1 million question. And that's
It
what
is.
you've been talking about. Every UFC fan or expert I've talked about. Will he actually wrestle him? Because that is the key to victory against Pereira.
I think so.
We
Yes.
don't know what he can do. We know he can knock someone out. We don't know if he gets taken down and held down. Can he do anything about it? Can he get back to his feet? Can he defend the wrestling, the ground and pound, the jiu-jitsu? Can he actually do... He's just never been tested.
He hasn't been tested, and I feel like everyone's kind of standard and traded with him, and it hasn't really come off well for them. But I feel like this Ankalaev guy is pretty decent on the feet as well. But if he teed up Izzy and Khalil and all these people that are full kickboxers, I don't know how he's going to try and stand with him. But yeah.
I mean, I still have flashes of that Khalil and Pereira fight in my head. I mean, that was just
nuts. That was a war.
That was bloodbath.
Like two warriors just going at it for, and then he ended up wearing him down and winning it. But yeah, it was nuts. It was a really cool fight to watch.
So we'd have to think, I mean, Pereira gets the knockout would be the favourite. I mean, at least with us. I mean, you'd have to think that's the way he wins this fight. He does it in a few rounds. I mean, it obviously took a while with Khalil, but I would have to say, if I had my prediction, that he would get that knockout. He wears him down. But that's assuming he can stop the takedown.
Exactly. Imagine if Ankalaev just dives in and puts him on his back, and he's never really been tested like that before, and can land some ground and pound or a submission or something like that. And we've never really seen Pereira in that situation. It'd be interesting to see how he handles it. And he trains with Glover Teixeira and stuff, and they're obviously all jiu-jitsu freak, so he obviously knows how to do it, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets tested. I
mean, Ankalaev undefeated in 13 UFC fights. I think
wild.
We both just watched the countdown, which has just been released today. The thing that got me the most was him standing in the mountains talking about how his father had died when he was younger and he had to become the man of the house. He looks like an absolute killer, man. He's obviously been through a lot. He can withstand the stuff, and the word that just came to mind was scary.
Yes.
He looks scary. I mean, all the Dagestanis have been scary, and Pereira is scary as well.
Yes.
But I don't know. Do you think that his wrestling can sort of break through with Pereira? And do you think he'll wrestle?
I think you've kind of got to. I think he's got to try, but I don't know. He might get clipped on the way in, or you never really know. But it'll be interesting to watch, and I feel like he's definitely the next in line for Pereira. It's probably the most interesting fight they could make for him. He's so active. He fights all the time. He's fighting multiple times a year. I feel like he's a very active champion. He's proved it time and time again, and it'll be interesting to see him go again.
And the only thing of his blemish for Pereira was that Izzy fight when he sort of just got caught. Izzy fighting off the back in the knockout. But other than that, we haven't really... There was that one little clip, I think, that... Was it Roundtree when he missed a kick? He sort of rocked him a little bit.
He landed like a right-hander. He almost ducked the kick and landed it. Yeah.
He landed it so quick.
And it was like a flash knockdown, but
he
recovered straight away. He's such a beast.
And Pereira said that, that didn't get to him, but of course he would say that. So we don't know, but he has been knocked out. We've seen it with Izzy. And let's not take away anything from the fact that Ankalaev knocks people out. That's what he does as well. Even though we talk about he's got the combat sambo background, Dagestani wrestler, but he can knock out people too. So, but would you ever think you wouldn't think that he would better him on the feet though, would you?
Oh, you wouldn't think so. And I feel like the betting odds, you'd have to have Pereira at $2.10 for a knockout or something like that. Where Ankalaev, you'd think $4 or $5 or something like that. But I'm only guessing. But I just feel that, you'd be putting Pereira for the knockout for sure.
No, 100%. And I think the last time I checked, though, the odds are pretty close. I
Oh,
think
really?
Pereira was just a slight favourite when I checked on Sportsbet.
Wow.
So
That's interesting.
yeah.
There you go. I wonder what he's paying for a submission.
I'll have to check, mate.
Yeah.
Plug the sports bet. But also, man, like, so I guess, and for us, man, heading into this fight, like, is this it? Because if he does get wrestled, if Pereira does get wrestled, and this is it, this should be the end of, like, this mini era of Pereira dominance being the face of the UFC.
Another Dagestani champion.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and there's no reason why he can't do it. I know Ankalaev is hungry, man. I think he had was that majority draw with Blachowicz, and it looked like he was in tears. So
Yeah.
he's hungry, man, and I think that he's going to give Pereira probably the best test that we've ever seen in the UFC so far.
And that division is just scary because they're big dudes, and they can move, and they're nimble, and they've got so much power, and it's such a fun division to watch because it's kind of its own. It holds its own. It's dynamic. It's interesting. It's awesome.
On the flip side too, with Pereira, if he wins,
Who else is
heavyweight,
next?
does he go to heavyweight?
Yeah.
I would love personally as a John Jones fan, I'd love a super fight with John Jones. And the other option, of course, is Aspinall, poor Tom Aspinall, who is just
Will he
hunting.
ever get that fight with Jones?
Will he get the fight in general?
Yes.
Because it's been so long.
You hope so.
If Pereira were to come out there, do it all again, get his knockout, just run through this division once more, where would you like to see him go after this, or what can he go? Where can he go after
I
this?
guess the only call is up to heavyweight and a super fight with John Jones, or whoever wins out of John Jones and Aspinall, if it ever happens, I guess, would be the next test for him. Because, he's he did cleared out the middleweight division and now the light heavy, and imagine if he does heavyweight. That's probably the best, most dominant champion in multiple weight classes that we've ever seen.
We'd be the first person to do 3, which would be absolutely
That's
first mountain.
nuts.
That would be insane, man. And there's no reason why he can't do it. Assuming he can get through the challenge this weekend, I mean, you wouldn't put it past him.
No, and he seems so active and super focused, and I don't know, he's oldish, but he's not that old. I think he's still got plenty of time left, and he could definitely do it.
So I suppose we just get into it, man. The prediction. What do you think? How does this fight finish? Do you want to pick the round? What do you reckon?
I think I'm thinking like a round 4 knockout. He'll wear him down a bit and then get him knock Ankalaev out in the 4th round. But I can never bet. Whatever I say, do the opposite because it'll pay off. Because I feel like I know a little bit about this sport and my betting history is horrific. So don't hold me to it.
Oh, I know my friend. My friends would say the exact same thing. As much as I know and have watched it and know the intricacies inside out, it doesn't mean you can pick a winner.
I can't pick it. The opposite happens.
Look,
it's
mate,
all part of the fun.
100%. I'm going to go Pereira round 3. I think round 3 knockout. I think he does it. I think he can do it one more time. The one part that I really loved was watching Countdown earlier today, and he was giving that speech at the MMA Awards where he won Male Fighter of the Year, and man, I welled up a little bit.
Gets you pumped.
I got a little tear in my eye. I really did.
I often well up at UFC stuff. I got big problems. Like, you'll watch like a speech after a fight, and it's all motivational. They're all pumped up, and you're there watching. I'm like, this is amazing, and it just makes you want to go for a run or something. It gets you that pumped up.
Let's fight. Let's put the gloves on.
You're like, I'm ready to go. Yeah, that was awesome.
Well,
you want to have it in your headphones while you're at the gym or something, just on repeat.
I was literally sitting in my bed eating my eggs this morning and watching it, and
spat your eggs across the room.
And it wasn't even anything too serious. It was just that when he came from kickboxing, he wanted to chase Izzy and get that fight. He basically said, so many people doubted me. They just doubted that I could transition into MMA. And that's all he really said. But it was about just believing in yourself. And mate, I started to believe.
Yes.
That's why
he can do anything.
I'm believing. Sharma, I'm believing one more time, man.
This podcast, let's go. Yeah.
So that's it. And mate, I absolutely can't wait. I think it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be awesome. I'm rattled about the no-hooker Gagey situation. That would have been the most amazing fight. I reckon fight of the year contender. That's devastating, but I think Hooker's broken his hand or something. So what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. Did he say? He didn't say exactly, but it was hand injury. We know it was a hand injury.
He put up a video and his hand was pretty swollen. Like, it definitely didn't look well. So that was the only kind of video or announcement that I saw. But I mean,
that was going to be an absolute banger. Definitely potential fight of the night contender, 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if it would have got it. Last minute replacement, Rafael Vaziev, is that right?
Vazeev, wasn't it?
Vazeev.
Yeah, another tricky name to say,
Vazeev,
but
Vazeev.
an amazing fighter. Yeah.
And a rematch because it was only a couple of years ago in London that they went toe-to-toe, majority decision for Gaethje in that one, but absolutely cracker of a fight, man. I was watching a few of the highlights earlier, and they banged, man. Vaseev looked quicker,
Yeah, wow.
but why Gaethje sort of stuck in the fight was he just countered. Every time he got hit, he just threw something back. As we know, the Gaethje is the brawler, just the heart on his sleeve, absolute insane fighter that he is. And he just went toe-to-toe with him. And even though he was probably outmatched for pace a little bit, he kept giving it back, enough to clinch the decision anyway.
Yes.
And that was a fight of the night.
Wow.
So even though he's probably got the name a lot of us were hoping when Hooker had to pull out of the fight, I think this is an absolute cracker, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm keen to see it. Definitely still watch it, but I was banking on Gaethje Hooker would have been fireworks, but this will still be a great fight. I feel like Gaethje versus Holloway in UFC 300 was the best fight I've ever seen, I reckon. I was literally screaming at the TV, and then that knockout in the last 10 seconds. Like, it doesn't get
Insane.
any better.
One
as
of
a
the
UFC
all-time
fan.
great UFC moments and just sporting moments in general, if you were lucky enough to be
Talk
a fan.
about
and
crying.
invested.
That brought the tears. I was leaping out of my seat at DYRSL, screaming like,
It was all
all
time.
time.
The city. Oh, man.
Yeah.
It was just epic moment.
It was the best fight, and then that finish, it doesn't get any better. And then I feel like him against Chandler was another just amazing fight, just a war, and then that could have been the same as Hooker, but now this Vazeev, we'll see how it go. But I think, it'll be awesome. Definitely worth watching.
And Gaethje, I'm not sure if he's going to start as the favourite, but obviously I think it's something like 25 fights, 20 knockouts, Vazeev 12-3 with 8 knockouts. So you'd have to think that someone's getting knocked out.
Someone's going a bad day.
and,
That's heavy.
And you're going to stay with Gaethje? I mean, he's sort of the fan favourite.
Yeah.
It's hard to go past him, right?
Yeah, you can't not watch one of his fights. They're always just epic. Like, you're not going to be bored watching Justin Gaethje fight, that's for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
I suppose the only shame, I know I'm going to go with Gaethje too. I'm going to go with Gaethje knockout. But I suppose the only shame with this is when you've got a guy like Pereira, which is awesome, and we love his cards. I think the UFC knows they can stack it top heavy for these pay-per-views because you take away that fight, and it's a fight night pretty much. Like,
it isn't the most amazing card ever, but it's definitely worthwhile. But yeah, you take away Pereira and probably Gaethje, they're two of the biggest names. It's definitely a fight night card, I reckon. But you'll be surprised. Who knows? Anything can happen.
And also, we get Pereira.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think that is the draw card.
And he never pulls out, so surely he's rocking up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think even if he had a broken foot, he would probably try and make
He did
something.
that once, didn't he? Had a broken toe or something?
Yeah.
Weapon. But yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah. Bit of a unit.
Mate, we go through the rest of the card. Jalen Turner, Ignacio Bamondes. I don't know too much of that fight. I think both fighters' records isn't too good. I think it's like 14-8, 16-5. So hopefully there's just some fireworks there. Amanda Lemos, she fought a few years ago against Wei Li for the title. She's up against Iasmin Lucindo, who's riding a four-fight win streak. So that one should be interesting. And then I suppose the other fight that people would know as Bobby Green, or we have to call him King Green now.
Oh, yes, he changed his name.
Yeah, I actually had to do a double take when I was looking through the fight card.
Is that who Pimblett just beat?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it was a submission, maybe?
He finished
He was subbed. I
it.
think it might have been a triangle. Yeah.
That's right. And then he was kind of like, who changes their name to King? Who does that?
Well, literally,
like,
I was looking at
giving him a bit of grief about it.
I was looking on Wikipedia and I had to do a double take. I was like, it says King Green because that is he has legally changed his name to King.
He's hepped up. He's ready to go.
The blood's not rushing up to the head anymore. Mate, so he's up against Mauricio Rufy, and I think I remember watching his last fight on the Jones card, and he's a bit of a killer, man. Like, I wouldn't sleep on him, and I think Bobby's getting on a little bit. Do you know much about these guys?
No, well, that King Green or Bobby Green or whatever, I watched his fight against Pimblett. That was a good fight, but yeah, I wouldn't say I know a whole lot about those two. But
Well, Rufy's 11-1 and he's riding a 6-fight win streak.
Yeah,
so
wow. Well, that's cool.
he's one to watch. Doesn't have a Wikipedia page. But that's actually one thing that really annoys me, man. I don't know about you, but I research fights and I feel like I can judge a card based on whether you have a Wikipedia page. And I think there's at least 3 fighters on the main card who don't have one. And that's annoying because it means...
How you meant to research?
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. I've got to go out, like, Google and get a Tapology or something. Like, it's just... But what I mean is, like, it means that they don't obviously have too much of a profile yet as well. So when you have that on a main card, especially a pay-per-view, that don't have a Wikipedia page, it's a sign of sort of how weak the card is. You know, we don't have these big stars. And I suppose the only other one to mention too, Curtis Blaze. Because he is headlining the main prelims.
He gets forgotten about, I feel.
Yeah,
Like, he's one of those guys who's been around for years.
Can't even crack the main card.
Yeah, he's had lots of great fights, and he's a heavyweight. He's probably, like, pretty overlooked. Like, he'd probably be pretty rattled by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did get rattled in his last fight, because that was Aspinall.
Oh, yeah. Is that when Aspinall did his knee the first time?
No, and then I think they had the rematch, and then he got knocked out.
Yeah.
That
was quick, too. That was, like, first round, the first 30 seconds.
Aspinall's just a killer, man.
Yeah,
What do you
it's
do?
nuts.
He's up against Rizvan Koniev. So, look, that's his first fight back, and he's been knocked out, I think, 2 of his last 3. I mean, it is heavyweight, and that does happen in that division, but...
Yes. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to watch too. That's the early prelim. Is that on the prelims?
That's the main prelim. I went through the fights. There wasn't any other name that was really jumping out, but that's the main fight.
That'll be
in the
worth
prelim.
going early and watching that for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
It should be. You'd expect a knockout.
Yeah,
I would have to think.
Have to get to the pub earlier to watch that. Eh?
Actually, that leads into the next thing. Where are you watching the fights on Sunday?
Just probably at DYSL. I love it down there. It's got the big screen. It's we go down there with a bit of a crew, mates, have a few beers, have some lunch, and that's honestly like my favourite Sundays. Locking in for a UFC card with all your mates, screaming at the TV, few beers. It's good fun. Yeah, I love it.
UFC Sunday is an institution. I mean, I feel sorry for people who aren't into the sport because
we're so lucky, and it's perfect timing. It starts around midday, and then you're home by 6 o'clock, and you've just had a hell day at the pub watching the fights.
Couple lemonades.
Yeah.
10 or 20.
Yeah, it's all time. Yeah.
I think I'll be at the Osborne Hotel. I got a bit of a...
How good? Where's that?
That's in Brisbane. So I got a boys' weekend trip this weekend.
Sick.
And so I haven't been there before, but looking before, nice beer garden, a big screen. That's all you want for UFC Sunday.
You booked a table or something?
We have, 100%. You always got to book a table.
You're crap, eh? You're not missing out.
I think I'm getting there Friday, and that'll be Sunday. So we'll see what state I'm in by the time we get to that fight. But it is like a going away. Mate's gone to England, so that's going to be
that'll be fun.
big weekend. And obviously,
I'm jealous. That'll be epic.
And shout out to Culture Kings, obviously, because I do have Sharma.
You'll be wearing that, just screaming
actually,
Sharma.
My favourite part is the back. I'm going to screw the thing up, but you can see that on the back there.
Where he's doing the hands, that emote. What is that like a...
I actually don't know.
It's like a viral... I don't know. But
I don't know the
funny.
backstory 100%. But
Didn't he knock someone out and he did that over the top of them?
That was Jamal Hill, wasn't it? So Jamal Hill thought the fight was going to stop, and then...
Because he got kicked in the nuts, and then the ref...
It wasn't happy. Well, yeah.
And then he's told the ref to step aside, and then 1-2 and put him.
It was all over. And that's what I love about Pereira, man. Like, he's just created those moments when he just head kicks Jiri after, like...
Yeah, that was nuts.
Basically finished him at the end of the first round, survived enough, and then just comes out...
Full head kick, and it was so quick, and it was just, flush.
I don't think there's been a more exciting fighter in the UFC in the last, 5 years or so.
That'd be like a bat just across his face, eh? Like, it'd be so
the
heavy.
Brazilian bat.
Oh, my God.
It'd be terrible.
It'd be so heavy. I'd be like full medivac day. You have to like land the chopper on the roof.
Oh man, that'd be amazing. And the other thing too, man, like even though he can't speak English, I love that he's been able to sort of translate with his Instagram, his stories. I know one of my favorites when he was there with his trainer in a garbage bin, and there was a video of some girls as garbage people on the back there, and they're hiding, trying to get taken away as the garbage. It's just stupid stuff like that. But like he's done a way to like, you know, translate into like a mainstream audience when he can't really break that language barrier.
And he doesn't, I swear he doesn't even speak that much. Like he's just kind of him. He just says one word. And
do you need to say anything else
when
you're Alex Pereira?
What does Sharma even mean?
Oh, no, you put me on the spot. Doesn't mean...
You got it on the shirt. You got to find... Is that on Wikipedia?
Actually, what is it? Hang on, no, we can't go now.
Look it up.
I've ruined this. I feel like I did know what it was, and then...
Maybe you could make a shirt with it and then the definition underneath.
Well, you could.
And then he'll probably sue you and come and kick in the head.
Well, this is just from AI Google results, but it says a Portuguese word for flame, which would make sense.
Yeah. So he's just telling people flame.
Flame.
Flame. Righto. But it works and it's catchy.
It says, another one I've just said is, for context, he's saying, call me or I am here.
I'm here, maybe. Maybe it's some staunch, like... He's not going anywhere.
So I guess that's what... I mean, flame's pretty cool too, if that's what it is. I'm just walking around with a flame on my shirt, so...
It's fine, it suits. It's a great shirt. I'm kind of jealous. I got my Max Holloway Bless shirt here, and whenever I wear it to training, Cam, shout out to Empire Muay Thai in Brookvale. Cam, the trainer, always just slips the word blessed into whenever he's trying to show like
that.
a combo. Or he's like, this is a blessed combo, and just to write me off, and it's pretty funny.
Well, I hope I get one a Sharma today because I'm about to head out with you very shortly. We're going to do a Muay
go
Thai
train after this.
Muay Thai session.
It's going to be good. I bought Dan a little private lesson, and we're going to go down together, and it's going to be good fun.
Cute mandate.
Yeah, full mandate. Maybe even a swim after.
I'd love
full
a swim,
romantic.
mate. It's not the best weather here, but we can still go for it.
Warm, it's fine.
We can go for one. But no, thank you very much for inviting me, man. Enjoy the fights this weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Enjoy your weekend. You got a good weekend ahead. I'm jealous.
Oh man, it's going to be big. I don't know if I'll get out alive again, but
probably good we did the podcast before because you might be a bit flat after.
I'm definitely not doing a review show next week.
We'll chat in a month.
Not on Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, that's when I'll feel human again. But I did want to just quickly ask before we go to on the fighting. Do you want to fight one day? Is that what you obviously do train a lot? But is that I know you've been training a long time, and you do go to Thailand.
I
just
get
a
asked
hobby?
this all the time. I'm happy just training. I love the feeling of it. I love learning. But yeah, I don't know. I respect people that fight, but I don't know if I've got the balls, but two, I don't know. I'm not that interested. I just enjoy training and enjoy being a fan, but nah, it's good fun.
Being part of that gym atmosphere, right? Like,
it's good.
SPG,
And just
it's just
the feeling after you walk out there and you feel like $1 million and you learn some skills along the way, and it's just good fun. It's a good way to spend an hour or a night and hang with your mates, and it's good.
Oh, dude, I wish I did it earlier. I've always been into sport. Like, I play Oz tag. I like my running. I grew up playing soccer. But it was only in the last 18 months I was like, I've always wanted to do like I did a little bit of boxing at uni, but I always wanted to do striking, especially jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Now that I'm doing it, man, like it's just the juices flow, man. You get into that, you walk out of there feeling so accomplished, right?
You get addicted too. I feel like it's one of those things it just snowballs and you learn, you get a little bit better, and then you're learning harder things, and you're never like gonna stop learning, and it's kind of this never-ending kind of journey, but it's just so much fun.
Yeah, you didn't want to ask me back if I was going to get a fight?
Oh yeah, you can have a fight? Just full pretzel someone.
You know, people at the gym, actually, I was waiting for that, but people at the gym actually asked me like, you training to fight? And I was like, mate, I'm 34.
Yeah,
I work in
I'm
TV.
like that too.
I'm not training for a fight.
Yeah.
So like, I can't smash the moneymaker.
Yeah, good.
I can't, like I came into work, I remember I was doing jiu-jitsu last year before Origin. I got a black eye because when we were doing a transition jiu-jitsu, it just slightly elbow grazed me just below the eye, and it was nothing at the time.
You might need a bit of
I had
concealer
foundation concealer for 10 days straight because it was just this purple. I'd never had a black eye before, so
you should just rock it on Fox Sports and it'd be like, this journo looks a bit edge.
Yeah, I don't
looks
think
like
they'd
you can
like
throw
that.
down.
A bit rough. I'm gonna have to hope that this takes off full time. I think if that's
then
the
you
case.
can rock shiners willy nilly. That podcast accepts shiners. Yeah.
We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Good.
Well, awesome, Tom. Thank you
Awesome.
very much, man, for joining us on Season Ticket Holders. Enjoy the fights this weekend, and Sharma to you.
Sharma. Thanks for having me, Dan.
Thanks a lot, and have fun, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye. Let's do it.
Solid.
You like it?
That's good. You better, right?